So this is video number 4 on surviving a pancreatic cancer diagnosis. So just recapping, I went through the process of being hospitalised. I went through the process of yellow jaundice and the itch for 6 weeks. Now 4.5 months into the whole scenario is I'm going through pain. Over the last 2 or 3 weeks I've been looking at managing pain control. Now there seems to be 3 levels of pain, so you're coming through the base level, which is where you use paracetamol or Panadol or anything like that, ibuprofen to cover it. But then if the pain becomes 24/7, that means it's continuous. You've got to have some sort of pain management involved. So you end up putting a system in place that covers your 24 hours. The doctor gave me some stuff called Targan, which is actually an opioid, or opoid, which is derived from opium, and very low doses. So I take one every 12 hours, and I found that wasn't working. And the biggest problem is when it kicks in. It took about 2 hours to kick in, and then on the way out it started to hurt again 2 hours prior to the 12-hour limit of taking the pill. So actually I found that the opiate was a slow release as well, and the paracetamol that I was taking, osteo, was a slow release. So if you're looking for a pain relief straight away, a slow release ain't going to work straight away. You can still take it, but then you really need something else that's going to hit the thing straight away and take over until the other one kicks in. So anyway, that's what I worked out. So anyway, I've got a system in place now, and I'm using the opioid. Now I'm allowed to double up, and I think you can even get to triple or quadruple strength, but I'm not at that level yet, and I don't want to overtax the system. So I'll stay on the base level, and every now and again I'll take 2 and double up, and I'll have an overlap of 2 hours in between taking one and the other, and that way at least you cover that whole process of where the pain hits. So yeah, so be careful about that. I mean, the slow release is good. I mean, that's what you want. You want slow release that goes through the day. You don't want it all to drop its load there right at the beginning of your taking it. You want it to be slow release, but you still need something to take over the pain until such time as the opioid kicks in. So anyway, as I said, I took the week off. Hope to get to church tomorrow. I like worshipping the Lord in the middle of all of this. Regardless, I'll always worship Him. So I pick my guitar up on a regular basis and just have a wangle and jangle and praise and worship God. And it says to give thanks in all things, people. So whether you live or whether you die, and according to Job, if you look at the book of Job, it's a good time to read the book of Job, actually, just to see what he went through. He went through pain. Jesus went through pain. So, and the other interesting thing about heaven and hell is a very painful place, people. You don't want to be going to hell because you've got continuous pain, and there ain't no pain management system in there. None. You just got continuous pain for eternity. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about that, you should hook into the rest of my YouTube preaching on Hemahema 88, and you can get to it through this video probably if you find my homepage, Hemahema 88. That's 8 and an 8, in one word, Hemahema. So I've been preaching for a while on there, and you'll find some of the subjects very interesting. So anyway, whether I live or whether I die for God, I live for God. And I love the truth. The truth will set you free. So, you know, I haven't organised this to be a preaching thing at all. Hopefully it'll be a testimony and it'll be useful to some people who are going through this process. It's a lonely place, lonely time, and the best place you can be is in the bosom of friends. As I said way back in the first tape I did on this whole series, is that you don't find healing until you get home. There is healing in petting your dog and your cat, having them around. There's healing in being in your own home with the noises around the place that are familiar. It's very unhealing to try and have that all happening in hospital, because it's unfair to the hospital for a start, because they've got things to do. And the thing is, the quickest you can get out of that place, the better it is for your healing, as long as you can set up with your pain relief and all the other stuff that's required in your healing. So when you're on the edge like this, you would think that you'd be right into your Bible and right into prayer and right into worship and whatever, but you don't. You just tend to move along as the day goes. Be thankful every day that you have life and breath. Be thankful you've got good friends. Be thankful that you're on top of things. Don't let yourself go under. You know, there is a place called heaven, and it's eternity, and God designed it for you and me. And I said to a lot of people there, I got to preach. I've got, and if you have a look on my YouTube, you'll see the latest preach I had up there called Homeward Bound. Well, that's out of my heart on heading home. And I said, you know, I had a lot of friends, and there's a lot of friends of mine that died earlier that are up there in heaven now, I know. And there are a lot of friends that have gone to hell. I try not to think about it, but I don't wish any of my friends, and I assume that I'm talking to some of them here on this video, I don't wish any of my friends to go through excruciating pain on a 24/7 basis forever and ever and ever in hell, on the lake of fire. So if you want to learn something about that, start at the book of Revelations at the end of the Bible and just work your way backwards, and you'll see some of the stuff I'm talking about. And apart from that, I guess I've sort of done enough on 4. So from here on in on 4 on this one, I'm just going to keep in touch with my symptoms and what's actually happening and how far, what the time is. The date today is the 24th, I think. Sunday, the 27th of July, 2019. I was diagnosed in 2019 in March, right at the beginning. 6, something like that. So the normal process for somebody with advanced pancreatic cancer, which is where I probably am, is 3 to 6 months. So I'm not sure what the status for me. God's in charge of that. But if He chooses to heal me, then obviously there'll be massive miracles, miraculous testimonies happening on here on YouTube and on Facebook and round about the town and through the hospital. So there's something to look forward to, see what God's got. But one way or the other, what He's got will be here on my YouTube series. Amen.